Mystic Heroes is a garbage game spin-off to the Dynasty Warriors series, from its fugly, chibi, toonish art style to its clunkier than clunky combat. Hell, even the English dub makes my ears bleed, and the doctor told me I should just stop playing one of the worst games of all time. So let's discuss why Mystic Heroes is garbage.
Oh, my favorite!
The story is some dumb Chinese myth. You go kill King from WWE or some shit. Along the way, expect tons of horrible camera fights, boss fights with forced platforming. In the end, you beat the generic bad guys and get your generic happy good guy ending. The end.
That's a good one.
There's only 4 characters and they all play the same. Just each one uses a different magic type, being fire, wind, ice, and whatever. Who the fuck cares anyways? Story plays the same too, so don't go in expecting variation if you play a certain character. The storytelling is awful, and the characters are generic. The combat is clunky and more repetitive than a game of Mortal Kombat. On top of that, the enemy can one-hit you constantly, knocking you around. Even if you use magic attacks, they can cancel your attacks, but you can't cancel theirs. And they can easily block everything you throw at them, but you can barely block anything they throw at you. Not to mention the slow movement, the openly large areas, making the game take even longer to play. On top of that, you must kill every single enemy in the area. Otherwise, you cannot progress in the game. So run around and find that one little enemy, otherwise you can't play the game. Then there's the issue of archers, as they spam arrows, knocking you down easily, killing you, and you can't fight back till you're close up to them, as magic attacks take time to use, and they can hit you as you prepare your magic attack, so it doesn't work, and you get knocked down over and over and over again. Oh boy, what fucking fun! Speaking of fun, bosses are also a problem, as the camera wonks out all the time with them, and they get invincibility, constantly allowing them to hurt you, but not the other way around. So if you knock the boss down or damage them enough, you better hope you can get away fast, otherwise they get to knock you around and take large amounts of damage on you. But you can't move fast enough, because the movement is slow and clunky. Oh, and then there's the death animation. When bosses die, they get a chance to hit you one last time before their death animation is triggered, allowing them to kill you if you're not careful. Bullshit. You must protect the AI, otherwise game over. If you expected them to help, think again. Instead, they cry for you to come save them, even if a single enemy is attacking them, and if you don't, they die. They don't even do much damage to the enemies, including bosses, making them even more worthless. And on top of that, they constantly get in your way, blocking your ability to move and attack. So that means if you're trying to attack an enemy, they can run up right between you and the enemy, and your attacks don't affect them because your allies standing in their way. So your allies will try to dogpile the enemy, and your attacks are null and void, and you can't just push them aside. You have to wait for the enemy to get past them to come for you, but your allies will just swarm around them again. And you may think, well, maybe they'll fight the enemy, right? No, they just stand there and get hit, then cry that they need some assistance, and if not, they retreat from the battle. Who the fuck thought this was good game design? This is shit game design. The camera never works. You will move left, it will move right. You move down, it moves up. If you try to switch things, it still goes in the wrong direction. The camera has a mind of its own and gets in the way, making it hard to platform and fight enemies that are not rendered into view because the camera is inside the fucking ground, the enemies, or in the fucking walls. One major aspect to this game is forced platforming in a Dynasty Warriors game. Platforming in a Warriors game. And in this one, where the movement is stiff and the camera fights you every step of the way. Yeah, no. Fuck you, Tecmo Koei. This makes progressing in the game nearly impossible, and at one point I got stuck because of the platforming on top of a door that wouldn't open. Yep, this game is glitchy and broken. Hell, in one part the subtitles speak in Spanish, or something like that. Goes to show what quality control there was. Spoiler alert, none.
It's awful.
It's all fucking awful! It's all of it! All of it!
The multiplayer is exclusive to a PvP or PvE mode where you fight in one of 4 levels fighting random enemies. There's no co-op in the story. That's entirely single player. Honestly, why even include 2 to 4 player support then? Alright, in the PS2 version, doesn't support the 4-player mode. It's only 2-player. The GameCube version gets the 4-player mode. What the hell? At the end of the day, you're better off shooting your feet off with a 12 gauge than playing this trash heap of a failed abortion abomination. Trust me, can't believe I liked this trash game as a kid. Honestly starting to think the PS2 in of itself was a mistake. Hardly anything good for it. What is this, the Nintendo Switch? Xbox One? Sega Dreamcast?
The world may never know.